convened. Pam, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Alvarez?
Here.
Commissioner Slick?
Here.
Commissioner Stoudemire Wesley?
Present.
Commissioner Myers?
Here.
Chair Cruz?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have a brief notice to read. As required by state law, Prosper Portland has provided an opportunity for the public to access and attend this meeting in person. There's also a YouTube live stream video of the meeting, and the public has had the opportunity to arrange in advance to provide virtual testimony. At this time, the public may provide written testimony to the commission by emailing prospercommissioners@prosperportland.us. Again, prospercommissioners@prosperportland.us. Thank you. All right. Item number 2 is commissioner reports. Does anybody have anything they'd like to report this month?
Attended the Chamber, Native American Chamber event with Prosper, and we were at one other one, but it seems to slip my mind. So, but 2 events this last month, so yes.
Great, thank you. Any others?
I also attended the same event as
Oh.
Serena.
Great,
Really.
excellent, thank you. Okay, all right. Next, we have the executive director report with Kimberly Branham.
Good afternoon, Chair Cruz and Commissioners. Good to see you all. Well, as you just heard, we're in event season, fall event season. So I, along with Commissioner Stoudemire Wesley and several other colleagues, attended the Black Business Association of Oregon Black Economic Prosperity Dashboard Release event on Thursday, November 2nd. We would encourage people to go to Black Business Association of Oregon to see the new dashboard. It's sobering and informative, and really appreciate them for the work that they are doing. That same day, both of us also attended POIC and Rosemary Anderson's Raising the Bar event. Later this evening, several of us are going to Portland Metro Chamber's Business Leadership Event Evening. And this coming Friday, November 11th, I'm pleased to join Commissioner Rubio, Commissioner Stoudemire Wesley, and other Prosper Portland colleagues to attend the Native American Youth and Family Center annual gala. And then the next Friday, November 17th, I'm looking forward to attending Taste for Equity Gala, which is a fundraiser for Apano and Kairos PDX, Latino Network, and Seeding Justice. So lots of really important organizations are putting on their events, and it's great to be able to support them on behalf of the agency. There have been some important work, and there's been some important work and announcements in alignment with Advance Portland over the last month. So I just want to note a couple of those. First is that I want to start by congratulating Portland State University for their recent award of federal funding to lead regional innovation in smart energy storage. PSU is leading a regional consortium of 23 companies, government agencies, including Prosper Portland, and nonprofits in a collaborative effort to turn the region into a global powerhouse for smart grid-level energy storage. The U.S. Economic Development Administration announced that it will fund the effort with $500,000 for a strategy development grant under the new Tech Hubs program. Our city and region was one of only 29 awarded from more than 400 applications nationwide. I want to express huge appreciation to our business advancement team, particularly Catherine Kronyak and Pam Neal, who really helped to project manage and steer a lot of this work, and we're excited to see what happens from this collaboration. So congratulations to PSU. We're excited about this. Also want to note that Prosper Portland and the City of Portland continue to be heavily involved in Governor Kotek and the Oregon Business Council's Central City Task Force. The recommendations will be presented at OBC's annual event on December 11th. If folks haven't signed up, we encourage you to do so. And we believe that they will be really highly complementary to the work that we are currently doing in the Central City, including our early exploration of new tax increment finance districts. So I know the board is highly aware of this, but just wanted to make sure that people are aware of the Downtown Business Incentive Credit Program, which is also focused on supporting our central city. It's had some coverage, but I think we can't emphasize enough that we are serious about keeping and expanding businesses in our central city. And so in mid-September, City Council adopted the ordinance to encourage businesses to lease downtown office and retail space. The credit of up to $250,000 over 4 years will reduce business license taxes. It's eligible in Lower Albina, in Lloyd, in downtown, and Old Town Chinatown. Those are areas that we found, as you'll recall, through the Advanced Portland analysis that have been the most impacted post-pandemic. And businesses need to sign a lease or have a lease renewal in 2023, 2024, that is at least 4 years. And they need to maintain 15 employees or more that are at least half of the time in person in their space. So you can find out more at portland.gov and type DBI into the search bar at the top of the page. So looking forward, I'll note that I'm excited to be speaking at a ribbon cutting event in Lentz tomorrow to celebrate the opening of the Lentz Community Plaza. The new facility will serve as a neighborhood commercial center with a public plaza, neighborhood tool library, and renovated commercial space. The plaza will also provide a permanent home to the Lentz International Farmers Market, which is such a community asset there. Comments by key partners will start around 3, followed by the ribbon cutting event at the plaza, which is located at 5718 Southeast 92nd Avenue. This is open to community, and so if folks are interested in coming out, it's happening about 3 o'clock tomorrow. And then just want to finally note that Saturday, November 11th is Veterans Day, and Prosper Portland offices will be closed in observance this coming Friday, November 10th. We encourage everyone to consider attending the Portland Veterans Day Parade that's starting at 10 a.m. in Northeast Portland, and you can find out more at veteransdaypdx.org. All right, so, and now my favorite part of my remarks get to introduce some of our new colleagues. And so I'm going to start with Trevor A. Brandon, our new accounting technician and administrative coordinator, who's supporting 2 departments, both the administrative services and equity policy and communication departments. Trevor's work includes vendor management and accounting support, as well as assistance with the Reimagine Oregon program. Trevor brings a wealth of administrative and relationship management experience from previous positions at the great Modus Recruiting and Staffing Agency, Self-Enhancement, Inc., and U.S. Bank. Trevor is a Texas Southern University graduate, a New York Yankees fan, and an active member of the International Coaching Federation with a focus on personal development. We are just absolutely thrilled to have Trevor on the team. Yes. And then Kiana Ballo has joined the Development and Investment Department as project coordinator. Kiana comes to us from the Ballard Alliance in Seattle, where she successfully managed various community projects, including a public art program that adorned the neighborhood with over 22,000 square feet of murals, utility box wraps, and sculptures. With an educational background in community environment and planning, she's well equipped to support major initiatives that we have, which is the exploration of new TIF districts in both East Portland and the Central City. So we are thrilled to have her. In her personal life, she recently completed her first half marathon. Congratulations, earning a 2nd place finish. Amazing. She also enjoys travel, surfing, skiing, and playing the piano. We're so delighted to have you. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a great report, and welcome to Trevor and Kiana. Happy to have you. Okay, next up, we have meeting minutes. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the October 11, 2023 minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
So second.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Approved unanimously. Thank you. Okay, next up, do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Do not. No. Okay. All right. So next we have the consent agenda. This is item 6. And unless we have interest in discussing this, we'll just go ahead and take a vote. Somebody like to make a motion to approve resolution number 7506?
Move to accept resolution 7506.
Great. Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Great, thank you. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. And I'm assuming that Commissioner Alvarez is also saying aye, but it's a little hard to hear.
Aye. Yes. Aye as well.
Okay. So next we have a regular agenda item. This is item 7. It's an action item adopting affordable commercial tenanting program guidelines. And Amy Nagy and Anelis Raz is with us. And I apologize if I got your name wrong, but thank you.
Okay, hello, good afternoon, Commissioners. It's been a minute since I've been to the board and brought an item, so it's nice to see you all again. Welcome, Commissioner Slick and Alvarez, it's nice to see you. Executive Director Branham. My name is Amy Nagy. I am a development manager within the Development and Investment Department here at Prosper Portland, and I am joined by my colleague, Anelis Ross, who's a project manager within the development. And we're here today requesting that the board adopt program guidelines for the Affordable Commercial Tenanting Grants. And so I will go ahead, take a couple of minutes just to provide you with some background and lessons learned on our efforts to date. And then I'll let Anelis go ahead and take it over, and she'll provide you a little bit more detail around the program guidelines themselves, some plans for implementation, and then we'll have some time for questions. So next slide, thanks. So just to start us off, this effort actually really aligns nicely with the goals and objectives of Advance Portland, most notably for Objective 2, where we're looking to promote equitable wealth through business ownership and providing access through technical assistance and capital in order to support the business growth. It also falls under Objective 3, where we're looking to continue to foster that vibrant city and the commercial corridor districts that Portland is known for, and that's really helping to move businesses into vacant spaces and increasing kind of that and continuing that vitality of those districts. Next slide. So just to give a little bit of that background, Prosper Portland's actually, we've been involved in providing affordable commercial space to support small businesses in those wealth creation opportunities for almost 10 years now. We were actually early adopters and have been recognized nationally in seeing kind of what those challenges that existed before and still today for small businesses that are wanting to take down a space or move into brick and mortar for the first time. Also for owners in particular that are coming from vulnerable communities, that are people of color and haven't had enjoyed that same level of access. And so as we know, just in general, right, small business owners are expected to do all the things, right? They're expected to be the creative, to generate the revenue. Sometimes they get to be the boss, and all of that list just continues to go on. But when you're actually leasing and operating commercial space, that's a whole nother animal in of itself. And so when we were talking with business owners who were looking for storefronts, they were having kind of challenges and barriers throughout the entire experience in the process. So that would range from, first of all, working with a broker, finding a broker, and then understanding how to work with a broker, having access to funds to cover those upfront costs, which are actually quite costly, right? When you're thinking about security deposits, when you need materials to build out your space, you need fees for permitting, et cetera, for inventory, as well as actually just running the shop on a daily basis and having that kind of support. It requires a lot. And so in 2015, we partnered with private and public partners on a variety of different properties so that we could actually manage the space and lease it to small businesses. And the structure of those partnerships looked a little bit different throughout each of the properties throughout the city. But three things really kind of stayed the same, stayed stat that I think we want to see to continue. And that was we were leasing the space at a below market rate. We provided a tenant improvement allowance so that they could improve their space, as well as the technical assistance, so that they are both equipped for business planning as well as that kind of continued operation. I'd also want to highlight we've taken a lot of pride and made it a priority in working with our small businesses to make sure that that space is not only affordable, but that it's high quality. right? So sometimes there's that, when you're moving into something that is going to fit your budget, it's not always the nicest space. And so then it's requiring even additional funds to make those improvements and realize a vision. And so starting really in 2015, Alberta Commons in Northeast Portland was our first project. It was followed shortly by Lentz Commons, which is in the Lentz Town Center. And then a year later was what we call 10Y, also known as the Stash T building here in downtown. And then the Nick Fish in Gateway came online a couple of years later. The city also really recognized the opportunity to create and incentivize more affordable commercial space and could do it through new development. And so in 2018, City Council adopted the Affordable Commercial Space Bonus, which offers increased FAR and a height bonus for providing that commercial space on site. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Next slide, please. So in terms of tenant support, the agency has piloted a myriad of strategies, some that we still use today. So what I noted about are the properties that we manage and still do today. We work with business owners and property owners every day to provide capital, whether that's through a grant or a loan that supports not only the build out of the space, but also inventory and et cetera. We've actually entered into consent to let agreements. And so that's been an agreement with a private property owner where they have agreed to lease to a priority business that represents certain business characteristics in exchange at an affordable rate for a period of time in exchange for Prosper Portland providing that tenant improvement allowance. And that's been quite successful in Lentz, for example. And then that fourth strategy is around the Affordable Commercial Space Bonus Program. And that's available in our mixed-use zones outside of the central city, where developers enjoy that kind of FAR and the height bonus in exchange for either providing commercial space on site within that development, or they can pay into a fund. And so Prosper Portland's actually the administrator of that, and we work closely with the Bureau of Development Services to administer the program. And next slide. So I think just kind of to close out our lessons learned, and before I hand it over to Annalise, I think what we see and hear, 10 years ago and what we're still seeing today, and just a little bit a different paradigm, but the challenges remain the same, is that the costs and the time and the know-how can be paralyzing and can be barriers for businesses and can sometimes actually stop them from taking brick and mortar. We're seeing businesses still want to move into our storefronts. They want to be a part of the business community on the commercial corridors, but they have challenges of, again, coming up with some of that upfront costs. They don't have the access necessarily to family or friends, banking relationships, et cetera. The technical assistance that I outlined a little bit earlier is vast, right, that one needs. Anything from the business planning to how to hire somebody to understanding what our permitting process is, the construction process. That's all a lot for a single business owner to take down at one time. And then we still need to continue to create and preserve that affordable commercial space. And so while we're having a lot of vacancies in some areas of the city, making sure that that is the affordable and high quality space is still a priority. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Annalise and she'll walk through the guidelines.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Annalise Raz, and I am the Project Manager for Affordable Commercial Tenanting. And we're going to walk over some of the key details of the program that we are proposing. And we're going to start first with an affordable lease rate for a minimum of 3 years. We will be defining affordable rate in different ways. One of them is 10 to 25% below market. And the way that we would assess that is we would work with a broker that works in the area and that will offer some rates of different type of properties and buildings on a quarterly basis so that we can then match that to what we are proposing. Another option is to offer a rent abatement period and also limited rent escalations. And the idea here is to allow the property owner and the business owner to negotiate those terms in a way that works for both of them. We are asking for a minimum of 3 years, but they can negotiate 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is that they feel comfortable with. And that will help us assess what the grant amount will be. So it will be a combination in between the discount that they are providing and the need that the business owner has for tenant improvements. And the grant amounts are up to $300,000. And this will depend on the kind of business and the kind of improvements that they need. For example, we have found that childcare businesses or restaurants might require more funds to be able to ready their space for business. And as far as the tenant improvements, most of the funds will go to tenant-specific improvements, and the property owner is able to use a portion of those funds to be able to get the space to a warm shell standard, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a few more slides. And then the other thing is to offer access to technical assistance from the moment of lease negotiations to the moment when they open, in which they need other kind of technical assistance, such as marketing, and then as they grow and get established, anything that they need in that process, because it is an ongoing need. We can go to the next slide. So as far as eligibility goes, both small business owners and property owners are able to apply. And here we are including nonprofits that are property owners, because we have found that some of them own commercial space and they rent to small businesses. But they don't necessarily have the capital reserves to be able to offer tenant improvements that the business owner can use. And because this program is really oriented towards helping small businesses, helping small property owners, property management companies cannot apply on behalf of property owners. Food cart pot owners or food truck owners and operators are not eligible either. The only way that they're eligible is if they have a food cart and then they are opening a brick and mortar location. No mobile businesses or e-commerce, because the idea here is to be able to activate those vacant spaces and have people coming in and out of a business. And we can go to the next slide. So the business owner will have to fulfill at least one of these characteristics, and we're going to walk through them here. The main point is that we want to help businesses that have been historically underserved. And they will have to demonstrate that they are or have been at risk of displacement due to gentrification, that they have had limited access to employment opportunities, to capital, that they have not benefited from generational wealth, that they are first-generation business owner or first-generation college graduates, that they are providing a product or service that benefits a historically underserved population and demonstrated business experience of 2 years or more. And by that, we mean if you are a maker, that you have been going to market, or that you've had pop-up shops. If you are a caterer, that you have been able to work in a commercial kitchen, or that you have a food truck, and a minimum of 2 years of really operating a business, because that life experience is something that is really necessary to be able to go into a brick and mortar space and have more chances of success. And we can go to the next slide. Now, on the property owner side, we have a few requirements, and these will have to be fulfilled, all of them. And that is that the applicant must own a commercial space that shall be delivered in a warm shell standard. And that is that the walls are completed, that there's basic plumbing, that there are plugins for electrical things. The property owner must not the property owner, the property must be at ground floor level. It must be zoned commercial or mixed use. And there should be a maintenance plan in place over the term of the lease, as well as having all financial obligations related to the property, including taxes and debt payments, current. We can go to the next slide. Now, the eligible expenses are hard costs, so that's everything related to construction, all of the materials, all of the contractors. Soft costs, including design, architectural services, and they can use up to $25,000 for that end. And then we also have pre-development work, which is any kind of research that they need to do on the space, and that also has a cap of $25,000, and this is consistent with other programs that we currently have. And then we can go to the next slide. Ineligible expenses are inventory purchase or replacement, non-permanent fixtures, anything that you can remove is not something that you can use these funds for, and operating expenses, including staff salaries or marketing or any of those things. Really, these funds are to be used to get the space ready to open. And we can go to the next slide. Just so you have a visual of what this process will be like. The first step is for either the business owner to identify a space or for the property owner to identify a tenant. Once they do that, then they start the lease negotiation, and they come to us once they have a letter of intent. If a business owner or property owner has already signed a lease, it's too late because we wouldn't be able to bring in all of these affordable measures. So at that moment, we could have other programs that are available, but this specific program wouldn't be for them. Once they start that negotiation, then they come to us, they apply for the program, they show different documentation so we can determine eligibility, and then from there, we do a grant award, and I want to remind you that this is on a reimbursement basis. So, things that they will have to submit are bids, a budget, and be in agreement, both the property owner and the business owner, in order to receive funds. And with that, we can go to the next slide. As far as implementation go, the plan is to begin in the interstate district, and the reason for that is because it is in the action plan, and we already have funds that are available for this program. So we have a budget of $5.25 million, with $1.5 million reserved for a cultural business hub, which you're going to hear about on the next board meeting. And we are committed to providing 15,000 square feet of affordable commercial space and serve 10 to 15 business owners. And then we would align with other TIF districts that call for affordable space in their action plan. We already know that Gateway has that there and that Cooley does as well. So we would be deploying this in North and Northeast, and then we'll just deploy it citywide. And we can go to the next slide. So our next steps will be, we will draft the outreach and implementation plan in November. And then in between November and December, we develop the marketing materials with a plan to launch in the interstate district on the first quarter of 2024 and identify resources in other TIF districts for implementation in the fiscal year 24-25. And we can go to the next slide. So as a reminder, we are here to ask for approval for the Affordable Commercial Tenanting Grant Program guidelines. I know that's a mouthful. And if you have any questions, we're here.
Great, thank you. That was very helpful. Great presentation. So would any of the commissioners have any questions, comments to start with?
I have a comment. I really appreciate the expanded definition for affordable lease terms. I think that's going to make the program viable for more landlords and more tenants, so it'll provide more opportunities. So really appreciate that. And also clarity about the process. I think that's really helpful.
Any other comments? Okay, I have two comments. One is, or questions. One was just how you plan to sort of roll this out and publicize it amongst prospective tenants and property owners. Wonder how that'll go about. And then also, I think from the numbers that you described, the net budget would be about $3.75 million. Is that right? Just wanted to confirm that.
Yes, that is correct. That is the budget for North and Northeast. And we are in the process of talking with our communications team to be able to figure out what makes more sense. But what we have talked so far is to first contact our community partners that are already in the area and that have relationships with both business owners and property owners, and go from there.
Great. Okay, well, if there's no further comments, then I would accept a motion to approve. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you really?
I can make the comment afterwards. I just want to.
Okay. Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve, resolution number 7507?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Second, do we have a second? Great, thank you. All right. Any further discussion? No? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 It passes unanimously. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, I'm struggling with my technology. Huge appreciation to the whole Northeast team and the leadership committee. It's been a long process to get here, so I want to appreciate Annalise, Amy, also Charles and Sharon, and the entire Northeast Advisory Committee. It's been a great process. I think we're going to learn a lot, so thank you for the support. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so item 8, we're going to skip this time for those of you who are following along the agenda. We will revisit that later. Yes. Item 9 is an information item. This is an update on the Office of Events and Film and My People's Market. And Burke Nelson, Amanda Park, Elise Taylor, and Ness Zolan are all going to present. So welcome to all of you.
Afternoon, Executive Director Chair Cruz, and the entire board of Portland. We are so excited. Oh, mic on. Now my mic's on. Overexcited to present the Portland Events and Film Program update. All right. So, whenever you're ready. Okay. Great. So let's go to the next slide. Portland Events and Film Office is a newly expanded office that supports both the film and events industries. The office showcases Portland's cultural landscape and celebrates the diversity of our creative talent, businesses, and communities. My People's Market is a collaborative event organized by the Events and Film Office with support from event co-founder Travel Portland. The market provides opportunities for underrepresented business owners by connecting them to the travel industry and other professionals who can help and expand and scale their businesses. Next slide, please. Now, allow me to introduce my team. However, before I do, I would like to share that this office is new as of last fiscal year and was stood up during the pandemic with the goal of identifying gaps and needs to enhance experiences of event and film producers. There's no roadmap for this, and this was made up out of whole cloth. Let me introduce myself. My name is Burke Nelson. I am the manager of the Office of Events and Film. To my right, we have the illustrious Amanda Park, Senior Project Manager. To my left, we have the incomparable Elise Taylor, Liebird, Film Industry Project Manager. And to my far right, we have the incredible Ness Zolan, Events Navigator. Next slide, please. In addition to Portland Events and Film, we work to support the Advanced Portland Strategic Objective 3, and the goal is to foster a vibrant central city and commercial districts. Next up, we have Elise here to talk about the Advanced Portland Strategic Objective supporting small businesses and film and commercial productions.
Thanks, Burke. I like that incomparable. Next slide. Some of the ways our office works toward retaining and increasing commercial activity and supporting small businesses in the central city are film production services, film grants, and the Every Wednesday activation. Next slide. So film production services is what you guys, I'm so sorry, this is so rude. Hello, this is Elise from the Portland Events and Film Office.
Yes. I'm a location manager. I got your number from portlandeventsandfilm.com. I was hired locally from a film crew down in Los Angeles, and we're shooting a movie here this spring.
That's fantastic. What can I help you with today?
Well, I'm looking for our main character's house, and we think we have it narrowed down to Ladd's Addition in Southeast, but I'm not sure what kind of permits I need.
Oh, yeah, we've done a ton of films in that area. So the bureau that's going to be permitting you is PBOT. Why don't I send you an email with your sidewalk, your street application, maybe even parking if you need it, and how about insurance and neighborhood notification paperwork as well?
You can do all of that in one swift email? That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Fantastic. Oh, you know what? I'm not sure if this is part of your job or if there's someone else to call, but we have a large crew base and we're looking to utilize some of Portland's top food vendors for catering. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh, gosh, absolutely. We have a list of local caterers in town that actually specialize in film craft services. I'll send you that as well.
Fantastic. And I almost forgot, we have 6 producers who are flying in from LA. This is for 22 days of the shoot. Are there any hotels you would recommend?
Oh, there's so many, and I work with some of the best hotels in downtown Portland that offer special production rates just for filming. Why don't I put a list together, I'll compare the prices for you, and then you can send that over to your production manager.
Wow, this has been so helpful. Thank you so much, Lise.
Oh, no problem. Keep a lookout for that email this afternoon, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. And scene. Next slide. In the spring of 2023, our office awarded its 4th annual post-production grant. Our office has given over $100,000 in film grants to over 15 local Portland filmmakers to complete a feature-length film. A 2022 post-production grant recipient, Dawn Redstone Jones production, Mother of Color, just received distribution from Amazon last month, and they are available to stream now on Prime. In the fall of 2023, our office created a brand new grant to bring Portland's presence to the big screen. The Amplify Portland Production Grant received over 77 applicants, varying mediums such as documentary, animation, short, and long-form narratives. Of all the projects, they needed to be made and produced in the Portland metro area, with 100% of the grant funds going toward utilization of local talents, crews, businesses, and vendors. Next slide. The Every Wednesday pop-up activations were successful in creating vibrancy and engagement in several critical nodes in Central City. The team has launched a new series designed for the fall and winter months with similar formula. Identify critical visitor nodes that are vacant or stagnant, provide regular and consistent activities, and showcase pop-up events and activations on social media to shift perception and encourage real-life engagement at the site. I'll now pass it over to my colleague, Ness.
Great. Thank you so much, Lise. Next slide, please. The next section of work we'd like to share with you within Objective 3 of Advance Portland is aligned with the priority to attract more visitors through events and activation, renovation of the public realm, and support for regional cultural organizations and anchors. Next slide, please. So event services, I am so sorry. Excuse me one second. This is Ness Zolan, Portland Events and Film with Prosper Portland. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'm an event producer for Glow Market Roller Derby, and everything that could possibly go wrong is happening. I can't get a hold of the people in charge of permitting. I need to get access to the parking lot and the adjacent park and the fire permit and the Multnomah County Health.
Don't worry. I can help you with all of this. Let's just take it step by step. I'll get some basic information about the event, and then I'll give my colleagues at Parks and PBOT a call as soon as we get off the phone to give them a heads up that this issue is coming down the pipeline, and we'll work together to get it resolved ASAP. I'll then send you a follow-up email, copying them with your contacts so we are all on one email chain and on the same page. I'll also send you a handful of resources for insurance, security, and production, logistics, tips. And if you need any help understanding any of that, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I'll walk you through each step. I'll also be meeting with other Bureau representatives next Tuesday, and we'll make sure this is on their radar to ensure the event is safe, it's clean, and it sets you up for success.
You would do all that? Oh, that's so helpful. The other thing is I need to get the word out about the event. Do you have any suggestions about that?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, our office is hosting an event producer meetup called the Events Action Table this Friday. This is an opportunity for event producers across many mediums, including theater, comedy, running races, parades, fashion, hip-hop, markets, and more get together, network, and have a chance to share resources, upcoming events, and connect with other city partners. Also, on social media, if you tag Portland Events in Film and Prosper, our social team is fantastic about resharing info and marketing materials to great events throughout the city like yours.
Oh, wow, Ness, this has been so helpful. Thank you.
Of course, and don't forget to keep your eyes peeled on our website and social channels. We have another round of community event grants coming up that Portland events, to support Portland events like yours. I think you'd be perfect for.
Oh, will do. Thank you again for your help.
Thanks for the great work you are doing. I look forward to staying in touch.
And scene.
We also invest in large events like the Winter Light Festival, Blues Festival, Portland Music Month in January, and the Portland Pride Parade and Festival. This brings in over 400,000 people into the central city with an estimated economic impact of $13.7 million. Next slide, please. Our office developed and facilitated the Community Event Grant Program to support our creative communities in their work to bring people together, providing a sense of connection, belonging, and inspiring a sense of pride in Portland. Through 2 rounds of this program, we received over 500 applications and awarded 151 grants to support events from spring 2023 through this winter. 76% of awardees identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color. We've received 88 impact reports so far, noting a total combined attendance of 188,679. We know that when people attend a cultural event, they go out to dinner, they pay for parking, they purchase a gift for a friend at a local retailer, and if they're coming from out of town, then they have the additional travel costs and hotel and lodging costs. Based on those 88 reports only, the estimated economic impact beyond the hard cost to attend the event is over $6 million. That's a return on investment of over 15.2 times. Next slide, please. In partnership with Travel Portland, our office launched the Scale Up Event Grant Program, a competitive grant opportunity designed to provide funding and technical assistance for local Portland events positioned to grow and attract audiences beyond the Portland metro region. The application period for this first round closed on Monday, November 6th. We received 18 applications, and our selection committee meets tomorrow to start the review and scoring process. We anticipate awarding 3 or 4 applications of up to $25,000 in financial support, as well as promotional and other technical assistance for awardees. I'll now hand it over to Amanda Park to share about My People's Market, the Portland Winter Ice Rink, and other exciting programs.
Thanks, Ness. Next slide. Founded in 2017, My People's Market grew from a desire to connect underrepresented business owners with growth opportunities, but in a little bit of an unconventional way. We launched the market with 50 businesses to now hosting more than 150 at each market. In recent years, we've seen increasing and overwhelming demand from business owners eager to participate. This market is important to small businesses as a launching off point and as a marketing and growth tool. Previously, it would take us 1 to 2 weeks to fill the market. Now it fills in just a matter of hours. My People's Market has typically brought out anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 people. COVID has slowed us down a bit, but we're seeing our crowds return, and we expect in the next few years that we're going to surpass our pre-pandemic levels. My People's Market continues to provide a community-focused event that offers shoppers a unique, family-friendly experience at a scale that delivers benefits to small businesses. Over the years, it has been wonderful to see the explosion of maker markets and niche community markets. Looking ahead, we're exploring opportunities to expand the value of My People's Market for the community, and we are eager to see what support and infrastructure the market can provide to grow the My People's Market event, as well as bolster our small business communities. Next slide. I'm pleased to invite you all to our upcoming market in just a few weeks, December 2nd and 3rd, from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. at the Oregon Convention Center. We're hosting more than 150 small businesses, a variety of dining options, fun activities for the family, including crafts from IDL, a storytelling corner with Nikki Brown Clown and Drag Queen Storytime, as well as performances from Mestizo Dance Group, just to name a few. Next slide. There's a lot going on in Central City for the holiday and winter season. The team is transforming the south parking lot at the Morrison Bridgehead into a woodsy winter village and outdoor ice rink. Opening December 16th and running through January 28th, the ice rink will serve as an anchor through the holiday season and into the new year. Accompanied by a woodsy winter village featuring a pop-up marketplace, food, warm beverages, and a cozy lounge. Throughout the ice rink season, we'll host a variety of other activities drawing visitors both near and far. Next slide. Events and Film Office also supports Advance Portland Plan Objective 3 outcomes and actions focused on activating vacant storefronts and properties with community-serving businesses and attracting new commercial development. Next slide. In addition to the Every Wednesday campaign that Elise spoke about, the office also manages the Winter Retail Activation Program. This new initiative is funded through ARPA and brings attention to our neighborhood shopping districts, including Lentz, Foster, Montevilla, St. John's, Cully, to name a few, but there's more. Our team is activating vacant storefronts and retail shopping communities with art, light, and entertainment. Each activation site serves as a starting off point for visitors to explore the community and shop. The initiative opens with windows featuring holiday art installations that showcase the community's unique branding and seasonal offerings. And then the window transitions to a winter light installation included in the Winter Light Festival. And this is to hope to encourage visitors back to the area after the holiday season. And I'll hand it back to Burke.
All right. And just when you think it's over, we've got a film produced by my talented coworker, Elise Taylor. These two films were made by local director Devin Tao, owner of No Sunrise Wasted, and past recipient of a post-production grant. The first video is an interview segment from our 2023 post-production film grant recipients, and the second video is a compilation of the event producers and small business owners who have worked with our office in one of the many event service programs. Please sit back and enjoy. A lot of my face.
The grant program supports professional development of local Portland filmmakers by providing funds for such activities as sound,
picture editing, color matching, color grading,
closed caption, tech specs for distributors,
and music clearances using local post-production houses.
My film is a personal documentary called My American. It tells the story of my mom, this amazing Vietnamese American refugee in her 70s who lives in outer southeast Portland. Something that's important for my film is to really kind of create a sense of place and like my mom's home and kind of the area in southeast Portland that we live.
Nora is the story of a woman who gives up on her dream to move back home to suburbia and focus on her child. I want it to be about inspiration to go forward instead of that feeling stuck.
Outdoor School is a film based on a true story in 1994 Portland, where a young kid sleeps homeless under a tree by night, but by day he's just trying to survive and fit in middle school.
Lily is a horror film about a woman who's experiencing a manic breakdown over the course of one night while she's being haunted by a ghost from her past.
When a grant like this comes along and helps you to finish the thing that you've been spending so much of your time and love on, it just helps quell all of those fears and push you that last step to get it out in the cold.
I didn't have any funding for the first 8 years. It takes grants like this to provide support and to uplift these stories that are out there, but maybe not given kind of the spotlight that maybe some of these other stories are.
The film grant chose to highlight people and stories that don't usually get an opportunity to be seen. As a woman in the
industry. It feels like a little bit of a stamp of approval or validation.
I went to outdoor school. I grew up in Portland. Getting this grant was validating. It was exciting to be recognized.
Being able to keep my post-production near home has been incredibly beneficial.
This money goes a long way because we're already stretched pretty thin on this production. It really is the thing that is pushing us over to actually make the finish line.
I really do believe the more personal a story is, the more universal it becomes.
The Prosper Portland Events Film Office is proud to offer grant funding to support
production of events based in the city of Portland.
Grants are intended to advance the city's
economic and cultural revitalization through direct financial support.
What inspires me to put on events is a lot of the community building and relationships. It takes a lot of collaboration, organization, community involvement.
There's different elements necessary to make sure we're creating safe spaces. It doesn't feel exploitative in a way of just to get a bunch of people together and throw on some music they like and see if they enjoy it and have a good time.
Hip Hop Wine and Chill is an event where we honor and recognize business professionals who love the culture of hip hop. I love seeing people together and showing love and respect for each other.
The Portland Event and Film Office makes entrepreneurs feel seen.
And I think the fact that they support BIPOC small business owners by way of the Black People's Market is such a great example of that.
Well, thanks to the Portland Events and Film Office, we were able to actually put on the Hip Hop Wine and Chill event.
Folks should join My People's Market if they can, because it's just a really, really fun, good time, really great turnout. There's a really clear mission and vision for the event that really centers Black and brown businesses here, which is really unique to Portland.
We're all grinding. We're all trying to bring a product to market. We're trying to figure out how to scale. The market is all about being a community, all about supporting those that come, and also being able to tell our family story through our products.
And My People's Market is really the only market that I feel welcomed and like I belong. Our event called Every Wednesdays. We've met some really cool people from all over the world, like, what is going on here? What's this? And every time we explain the city's investing in these activations around the city, they're like, that's amazing.
And there were times we had yoga coming out, the youth dance team. We also have the House of Ada. It's going to take years to repair, to restore, to create the kind of rooted growth we'll just normalize and expect.
It's been a privilege to be part of the revitalization of downtown for sure, and being part of this movement and showcasing the beauty of downtown.
That's the whole purpose and focus of it, is to bring people together.
Thank you, Portland Events and Film Office.
It's just, it's crazy what we've been able to accomplish in less than a year. So I'm very proud of this team. I would like to open it up for questions.
Okay, well, I'll just say right off the bat, that was a great presentation. Really enjoyed the videos. Those are super and really bring to life the work that you're doing in a way that, you know, the documentation doesn't always do. So much appreciated. And as far as the numbers go, super impressed by the multiplier effect that comes from these investments. You know, some of them are pretty modest, I know, but again, there's the multiplier aspect to it, and that's what we really love to see. One quick question. In the past, you know, we always struggled to get funding for the film office. It seemed like every year we would have to go to city council and beg for, you know, another year's worth of funding, or maybe 2 years worth of funding if we were lucky. So how are we set for funding for this in the relatively near future? Are we in pretty good shape for that?
Yeah, no, currently we do not have ongoing funding.
Okay.
We're working on a budget to present to council coming up in the near future. But yeah, as of right now, this is, we're slated to end June 31st of next year.
Okay, okay. Well, this presentation will go a long way, I think, towards towards helping you do that. So, and of course, I think as a board, we'd be super supportive in whatever we can do to help. Would be great. So, anybody have any other comments you'd like to?
I just want to say it was great, the way that you told your story. I thought it was wonderful, the way that it flowed. And it's much needed in our community because I enjoy attending My People's Market and other events. And so I look forward to the continued work that you all are doing. Excellent job. Really appreciate it.
I just want to comment that I want to applaud the work you're doing because I think it's really important in underpinning Portland's economy. I think the cultural aspects of our city are really what differentiates us, and it's important for us to recognize that type of investment is really vital for us moving forward. So thank you for your work.
Thank you for the presentation, and thanks for the work that you do. Is there any other private investment in this besides the businesses with Travel Portland?
No, not this time.
No, I know in some of the best practice things that we've done and around the country that there's a lot of private investment in public events and public event spaces. That I don't think we have that spirit here yet. And I'm wondering if there's a way this team could help maybe find that. And I don't know if that's in their purview necessarily, but maybe find that team to help get out there and find that private investment as well as the public investment to kind of shore it up, because this is a much needed service that we are providing. So really appreciate everything you guys do.
I think on the budget, I can just add that, we have really appreciated Travel Portland's partnership. And obviously, that's a funding source that is largely private. And so they have been a stalwart partner of My People's Market. They've also helped in terms of some of the resources for the film office. And we do have ongoing funding for the film office, fortunately. So that, as you mentioned, was a question mark for a while. But it feels like, the team has been able to pull together so many different funding sources. And I think that's probably what we're going to need to do into the future. So I think the team is, we're thinking creatively about what those options are, but couldn't agree more that we're going to need, in order to kind of come to the full vision of what this is, of what's possible, we're going to need the private sector to support certainly the events, if not the staff as well.
Yes, along that line, I think, it's great when private sector comes along on their own, but so a lot of times we have to lead them there. And I think we all touched on it. This was a great presentation, kind of touched us very well. So let us know what we can do to help.
We definitely will.
Yes. Commissioner Alvarez has his hand. Oh, great. Commissioner Alvarez, please.
I just wanted to not interrupt the flow of the conversation. I just wanted to echo the sentiments. It's just a wonderful presentation, dynamic storytelling, and really appreciate the effort and certainly recognize as a small business owner the effect that local films and productions can have on just cultural awareness of what's happening in Portland and the direct effects that can lead to being able to recruit people from out of town who have seen Portland stories told on national television. So I just want to applaud the efforts, and maybe one question to kind of throw out there is, have you worked with some of the local agencies, ad agencies, or storytellers that are in town that might also bring more shorter commercial narratives as part of this? Like how might we engage them around some of the activities that we're contemplating this fall, to some of these beautiful, kind of intended, scenic backdrops in a winter season that might be more temporal in nature to activate some storytelling around that. But all around, just a wonderful job, and really excited to see the effort go into this space, because it certainly has a lot of tail effects.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Can I respond? Thank you for that question. I think something is festering in the air because we have been approached by a couple different studios and ad agencies that all kind of want to do what we kind of did with this video, which is just tell the story of Portland being a wonderful city, but also a place to come and film. And so I think a lot of people the past year or so have felt the stagnation of production, and so they all kind of are wanting to put their heads together and find a way to market, which is what we should be doing because we're film. So that's a great point, and I think it's going to happen in early 2024.
Excellent, thank you. That's exciting to hear.
Thanks for your comment, Commissioner Alvarez. Appreciate that. All right, any other comments then? All right, well, thanks again for the great presentation. We really appreciate that and appreciate your good work. It's exciting, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, if there's nothing further, the Prosper Portland Board of Commissioners meeting is now adjourned.